Hey, Thrand here, and I'm here today to reply back to Skallagrim because he was so gracious to reply to us about our video that we did, and you know, I wanted to actually state some stuff about our video and give him a reply back, and I appreciate it. Thank you very much, Skallagrim, for coming on and speaking with us. What I wanted to say is some people brought this up, and including Skallagrim, that I said that you would never aim for the head. And for the head, that is the best target. So for me to have said that, if I actually said head, I probably meant helmet. You know, but with proper weapons, yes, you might aim for a helmet. But I wanted to state something about our video shoot. I promised people I was going to get this reply out. We were trying to hurry up and get it out in a hurry, and I noticed at the last minute, as we're trying to shoot it, that as I was working on it, that it had been, you know, put on private, or not removed, but he had it where you couldn't access it. So we had a 112 degree heat index, which is about a 99 to 100 degrees here when we have high humidity. Well, we want to do all this in armor, this whole shoot, so I can explain what happened with this. We go out there and we're wearing armor for most of the day, trying to shoot it, trying to show coverage, even though we don't have the exact pieces, the stuff that would cover the same areas, to explain how the different shields work with the different armor and so on. And needless to say, we were suffering from almost heat exhaustion towards the end of the video. We knew we were coming in, looking forward to coming into the air condition and finishing it, so we'd actually explain all the techniques that we had done. And being lightheaded and careless, and we're in a rush to get this done, I ended up cutting myself pretty badly. I've got 11 stitches in the back of my hand. If anybody was wise enough, I didn't see a lot of comments about it. A couple of my friends had noticed it, that I had a bad gash in the back of my hand and a medical bracelet on. But I went to the hospital. I wanted to finish the video. I told them I wanted stitches. I refused Demerol. I asked for no painkillers. I was probably silly of me to do that. But I came back and tried to finish the video 2.5 hours later because I was lucky. I got in and out fast. And what I possibly did was I might have said never aim for the head when I meant never aim for a helmet. In the Viking era, it's possible not to have a helmet or a leather helmet, or maybe iron banded helmet with leather, or something really like pot metal and a crappy iron helmet. Not to say that they didn't have good helmets. We don't know how good helmets they have. We've only found some iron helmets. That's about it during the Viking Age. But we know they had pretty good helmets early period compared to that and after. But what I was going to say is we have a helm here that Elgrimir was wearing in the video, and this was a destruction test we don't have a video of. And if you notice, we've got holes in this thing from all different types of weapons. And you also see creases from swords, but I can't say for a fact any of these would have killed Skallagrim. You know, he wasn't wearing it, but I'm saying he was wearing it in the video. But I'm saying the wounds could have damaged the back of the neck. Polearm could break the vertebrae. The impacts could be so hard that it would just damage the brain anyway through the helmet, whether it actually impacted the skull or not, or cause an impact through even all the strapping and padding. But all the helmets would have strapping, is what we believe. We're not sure on all helmets what they had. Heavy felt, strapping. Some people even say human hair braided and saved up from the ladies and put on top of the helmets during the Crusades. I've heard all kinds of things. But you got the strapping, which holds the crown up off the head. So one of the things I meant, and if you had your arming cap on too, which would be your padding, which is going to be way thicker than this one actually, then nothing, if you aim for the top of the helmet like they do in a lot of historical groups and call it a kill when they hit up here, most of these would not be kills. If you hit him with a really high quality sword in the top of the helmet, and it was a good helm, and you knew he was wearing a helmet, then you're talking about, you know, damaging your sword possibly. If it was a nice hand axe, even highly ornate, decorated by a Jarl, I could see him maybe not really want to hit the top of the helmet and aim for the cheek, aim for the face, aim for the open areas, you know, back of the head, whatever you could hit if you get around it. And that's what I was trying to speak of, is even the Viking didn't have a helmet, they had larger shields normally for their shield walls and so on. And that would stop even like a nick like this. I was bleeding profusely. I freaked out over that. I noticed I didn't have any serious wounds. I could use my hand. I didn't think it was going to be life-threatening. But the blood loss, yes. With the heat exhaustion and everything, I felt like I was going to pass out for a little while there. Was I totally freaking out? No, I wanted to go get stitches and get back and finish my video. But I'm not your average person when it comes to stuff like that. So what I wanted to state is what I meant is you'd aim for the head if you used a great polearm, great sword later century, anything. You'd aim for the head in general if it was open. But if you had a good helmet and a late century sword or something kind of nice, you're probably not going to aim at something that's not going to do any good. That's what I was trying to say. So I probably misquoted it, didn't explain it totally, but that's what I was trying to make a point of, was the helm is not a target. You want to aim for lightly armored areas. Like if there was some draped chain or some leather, you'd still hit there. That would be fine. Be much better than trying to hit a crown on the top of the helmet that's probably not going to do a lot for you. And I apologize. I appreciate everything that Skallagrim said. I don't want to talk too long. This is just a silly subject. But I want to explain that why we had such a poorly edited video. Elgrim didn't have much time to do it, and I wasted a lot of time at the emergency room and then coming back trying to set up, and he didn't know if I was going to finish or not. But I think he knew, actually, that I was going to try to finish it. But I apologize, and looking forward to maybe doing something with Skallagrim, if we can do a joint project. And I'll see you later. Farewell, and thanks for listening to me. Oh, and so we don't have more misunderstandings. What I was trying to say is an axe in the Viking era was easy to repair. It was something that, you know, even if it didn't have a good edge, could still kill a man, possibly. Yes, if you had a helmet from that time period, a lot of them were iron. We don't know exactly the grade of every single one of them and so on. Yes, I could see a headshot if that's all that was open, and it gave them an opportunity to hit you, and it wasn't risking anything. I don't think they would take a risk of getting wounded themselves in another area that wasn't well protected to try to take that chance. But if it was like a Dane axe, later century, you know, which is the great axe you always see, which is the really broad blade. It's not necessarily the heaviest thing in the world, like in World of Warcraft or something. It was just a polearm. Yes, I could see them aiming for your helmet if that's all that was sticking up, and they could hit it. Good chance to jar the neck, knock you out, do some damage anyway. The helmets might not have been good in that time period. Later century, warhammers with military picks on the back, anything like that. Halberds, when you come to polearms, of course I said that, but axes from that time period, they all had spikes as well, that they might even be able to get a piercing in it, possibly, and so on. Yes, a lot of these weapons that were mass weapons, and that's the big term, like a mass weapon, something was designed for it, a flail or something, you would aim for the helm, anything. You'd aim for anything you get a good solid blow on. The thing is, you're not going to destroy those weapons. A flanged mace, or flanged mace, however you want to pronounce it, people pronounce it different ways, will do damage to the helmet. And it doesn't matter, even those wrap shots you see in the SCF, that was from a flanged mace and you were letting that thing flail, it's going to put a dent in that helmet and possibly knock the guy out or silly. Good possibility. But just saying, and not to mention, there are helms where they wore a small helm and a great helm over it. That's where you get the term great helm. They wear a little helm and a helm over it. Now in that, we haven't had a lot of experience with that. I don't know how good that would do, but I guarantee you, with a big enough polearm or a heavy weapon that was weighted right and you hit the guy, I guarantee you it wouldn't matter if it got the vertebrae in his neck. But anyway, see y'all later. I just want to make sure you didn't think I meant a later century high quality sword. You wouldn't use it. You wouldn't use it because it wouldn't really work against the armor of the time. You'd try to half sword it and get an eye slot, aim for the face if it was an open face or he had his visor up because he was hot, something like that. You wouldn't purposely try to cut through the helmet because that's not going to happen. Swords cut. Later century they definitely cut. Viking era, they had some heavy swords. Don't get me wrong. Early period iron swords because they were trying to make sure they stayed together, they didn't come apart. Someone could be damaged easily too, but if they had a lot of heft to them and you hit a poor quality helmet, I could see that be the legend of how somebody got killed by a sword through a helmet if he had a poor quality helmet with a very heavy sword. But anyway, see y'all later.